Yo, what's up, guys? I'm just getting started right now. Oh, yo, what's up? Just getting started right now. If you want to join the stream, you can chat with me. You can chat with me in Discord or in YouTube. I'll be dual streaming this one. All right. Right now, I'm just making sure everything's working. My audio is working. If I watch a quick wait, what's something that won't have?
Welcome to 15th century Bohemia, where civil war runs rampant across medieval Europe, and clashing steel and armor is just part of day-to-day life. Here to talk about all things Kingdom Come
Thank
to
you,
the
question mark.
International PR Manager from Warhorse Studio, Toby Stoltz-Villing. Welcome.
Oh, thank you for having me.
You came bearing gifts, somewhat. This is the collector's edition, which was just
You should be able to hear that.
Clearly very impressive.
There we
These
go.
two are not
There's
included,
my screen.
unfortunately. But a lot of stuff is included. Can you kind of show us what
Yeah, I'm
comes in the
fixing
box?
it
Well,
right
that's very
now.
precious, so I took my guard. I see you guys'
Hey,
eyes
Lightning,
here, but
what's
hey,
up?
It's a collector's edition.
All right, I was just using that for audio test. I guess we can go back to Reddit. Reddit. Okay, so we have this on the thing. The audio fed into Discord, right? It did. Okay. Everything is working good. What's up, everyone? I was just waiting for people to join while just doing a quick technical test to make sure the audio and video is all working. So it looks like we're pretty good. All right, how's everyone feeling? And where's everyone based right now? Where's everyone located? Let's see. I'm gonna guess most of you guys are in the States, right? Everyone who's in the States, write US into the chat. In Discord, somebody's asking if I can do command of evidence questions. I could, yeah. Illinois, Chicago. Dude, I haven't been back to Chicago since I graduated. Or no, that's not true. I went for the 5-year anniversary. So I haven't been back to Chicago in forever. I don't have a lot of friends back in Chicago anymore, though. We mostly all like left. So I guess I don't know, but I do want to go back. Let's see. What was I doing? Oh, I was trying to update my YouTube chat. Okay. Amuse, good to see you here. Illinois. Practice test right now. Question mark. Oh, wait, what the heck? Oh, question mark. I was replying to you, dude. Oh, well, you're gone. All right. All right, so let me get my bearings. I probably need to make this like... That's like impossible to read, but whatever. What happens if I zoom? Does that make it better? I guess it kind of makes it better. It's about to be post-test It's about to be post-test in Asia for 10:30. So, hang on. In Korea, kids should be Korea, Japan. I mean, I don't think I've seen an Australian ever, but Australia um, should be Australia. Like, I can't speak right now, guys. I did a 4 hour stream last night, and I just woke up and I'm streaming again. So excuse, like, I might be a little tongue tied. So sorry about that. Uh, but yeah, we're gonna get Korean and Japanese kids. I've actually never seen a Japanese kid in my stream, so hey, if anyone's from Japan here, let me know. But we're gonna get us finishing pretty soon, and what that means is actually probably some of my students will be texting me when they're when they're finishing up their tests. Yeah, not a lot of people from Japan go to the States. I guess Yena, you're watching on YouTube from okay, but just saying, you guys can actually, if you guys, I'll open up the Discord dual streaming. If anyone wants to like share their, if you are not embarrassed about talking in front of other people, and you also want to share like a screen or whatever with me, then you can do that by joining the stream through Discord. Let me see. So I'm gonna just quickly skim through this. Good luck, everyone. It has been a month, or 2, or 3, or 6 of hard work, determination, and dedication. This is a sign you'll be getting the score you want. The score you've worked for days. Wait, what? These numbers aren't matching up. What's that even mean? All right. So here we go. There's not a lot of useful information here, so forget that. Zoom out a bit. Besides your ID, PC, calc, and pens, I mean, maybe bring an extra layer of like a sweatshirt, because sometimes depending on the test center. Now, if you know the test center very well, then you'll already kind of know how the air conditioning is. But sometimes you just never know if the air conditioning is too crazy. So so it's good to have an extra sweatshirt. I think water bottles are fine if I remember correctly. And Snickers, I would always have Snickers when I would go take the test. This was for back in the day of the paper SAT, but yeah, I would always have Snickers are my go-to pick-me-up to just sort of like boost my energy when I need it. So I would get some Snickers personally. But Snickers, for any of you internationals who don't know what that is, it's just like a chocolate bar. So yeah, you can use your iPad. And command of evidence, the thing about command of evidence is actually the way you're approaching it is a huge, can be a huge determinant of how you, I mean, honestly, this lesson, like this is such a basic thing. Where is it? Give me a sec. So I have France, US, manufacturer. This is not manufacturing, but oh no, this is a different one. Do, do, do. Wait, where's the service? where's the word? There we go. So this is a good example of a question where people waste a lot of time. And this is command of evidence data. Okay, it's data. There's obviously other types of evidence. There's quantitative. There's there's findings, so empirical evidence, findings, and then there's also quotations. So data is one of them. Whenever it says data, it's talking about infographics, like tables like this or graphs. Now over here, we get this table, and then we get this passage. So it's a hybrid type where it's actually a fill in the blank. So it's like an inference style. It's an inference style command of evidence data question. And a lot of times, like even I think when I first streamed this, because I think this is Blue Book. Yeah, this is Blue Book 1. When I first streamed this, even I fell into a bit of a time trap here, where I started ending up like battling between these answer choices. And that's not the best way to solve this question. The best way to solve this question, okay, at least in what I think is the best way to solve this question, and I've taught many students to do this, and they all show lots of improvements, is I just had them, give me a sec, let me deal with this little thing. Okay, so I just have them read the table first and kind of just get a sense of what variables are at play and like how it's structured. Now this is a sort of unusual table, especially if you're not somebody who's used to like economic data. It's sort of unusual, okay? So for an easier table, usually it's a simple job of like, you know what, let me actually jump into Blue Book real quick. Hang on, that's not how you do it. These are some harder tables. I'm trying to find okay, I guess this is more basic, so I'll work with this. When you see a table like this, how much time does it take for you to figure out what factors are involved, right? Well, let's actually kind of simulate it right now. It'd be something like, starting now, approximate rates of speech, information conveyed, 5 languages, bam. How long would that take? What, like, between, honestly, I had to do it while talking. I would say 10 seconds if you're slow, or 5 if you're fast, right? Like, it shouldn't take that long to be like, oh, we're talking about rates of speech, information conveyed, and 5 languages. Now, it might take an additional, actually, no, you know what? I might be underselling it a little bit because it isn't totally intuitive what rate of speech is, whereas some tables will say literally things like mass and diameter, and those are way more intuitive for you guys because you guys know what that means. Whereas rate of speech, that might take a couple additional seconds to process. This is rate of speech, syllables per second, service Spanish. Oh, Spanish has more syllables per second than Thai, right? Something like that, right? So that actually could add a couple more seconds. Same thing with information conveyed, bits per second, whatever that means. I personally would be like question mark a little bit after reading this. But even if I slow down, right, to try to understand what this thing is, what these are actually saying, it should still take me about 15 seconds or less. So did I waste time just now? If I I open this question, I take 15 seconds. Did I waste time? Maybe, but we're literally talking about like wasting 15 seconds. And you know what the thing is I can actually, because of those 15 seconds, I can read this faster because I know now what the passage is talking about. And not only that, I can, without even looking at the choices, just by the time I get to this claim, I will basically already know what it's asking for. So then I can oftentimes kind of predict the answer without even having to try because of these 15 seconds. That actually saves me a lot of time in the future. So what happens here is a group of researchers, blah, 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 typically spoken, okay? How quickly they're spoken, that's rate of speech. And how much information they convey, that's the right side column. They found that although they vary widely in the speed, that's the first column. The amount of tends to vary much less, that's the smaller column. And at this moment, if you watch my eyes would usually jump up and down here. So very widely would be 4.7 to 7.7, and very much less is 33 to 42, okay? Thus, they claim that two languages with very different spoken rates can convey the same amount of information. We want to support the claim. So I want to see an example of two languages that have very different spoken rates. That's like Spanish and Thai, for example, that convey the same amount of information in a given amount of time. And I am thinking something like Spanish and Thai. Actually, that's a huge difference there. But then I'm noticing something 42, 40, like Vietnamese and Spanish are pretty different, but this thing over here is on the right side is very, very similar. So because I've already sort of like pre-processed this table, I don't even need to see the answer choices. I already know what the answer is going to be. I know it's not going to be Spanish versus Thai because that doesn't support the argument, but I do see Spanish and Vietnamese. Now, obviously, I am a little biased because I've seen this question many times, but still, that's the general approach that I talk about. So then if we go back to the France, here, I'll just search it. France manufacturing. Oh, yeah, there you go. So if I go back to this, right, I'll explain how you guys end up wasting time. You guys end up wasting time because of your reliance on process elimination, okay? And you're not really reading what the passage is saying or what the table is talking about. Here we go. Employment by sector in France and the United States. Okay, employment by sector. Sector is agricultural, manufacturing, and services. France is left side and US is right side. From 1800 to 2012, that's top to bottom. Percentage of total employment. Oh, percentage of. So I guess in France, we get 64 plus, right? That's about 100. And this is about 100. Okay, this is a pretty complex, and then it adds this whole comment, rows and tables may not add to 100 due to rounding. So 24 plus 76 is 100, but maybe some of those, 20 plus 80 is 100, but maybe some of those don't add up. One thing that's kind of mean about this table is there's no clear separator between France and US, and so you have to just infer that these three are all just sort of going to add up to 100, but that's coming from this part right here. It's a sort of complex table, honestly. It's not complex to me because I'm used to this kind of table, but it can be pretty complex if you've never seen this kind of thing. So reading, just reading this up front might take you about 20 to 30 seconds. I'll just say 30, let's just highball it. Let's say it takes you 30 seconds. Did you waste time? Well, you be the judge. See what happens afterwards, right? Over the past 200 years, the percentage of the population employed in the agricultural sector has declined in both France and the US. I do a quick snap up. Oh, it has declined. Oof, did you see what happened there? You know, like I can actually, when I read this first sentence, I see the decline and I can do it in just a couple of seconds. The reason I can do it in a couple of seconds is because I already know what the graph is. While employment sector and the service sector has risen. Yes, it has risen. All right, that's like 2 seconds. However, this transition happened at very different rates in the two countries. Okay, and now I'm trying to see 64, 68, 43, 41, 32, 14. Aha, 1950 is the time when the transition was slow for agriculture in France and fast for agriculture in the US. Let me just double check sectors. 14, 13, 28, 31, 35, 53. Okay, US was much faster in 1950. This can most clearly be seen by comparing the employment by sector in both countries in 1950. And I'm looking for 1950. That's the one that says 1950, and that's my answer. Did I waste time then if I spent 30 seconds over here, and then maybe like 20 seconds trying to match the passage to the text. Match the passage to the table. Did I just waste those 50? Are those 50 seconds a waste of time? You be the judge of that. I really don't think so. Because what that means is I basically know the answer before I even look at the answer choices. Whereas what I actually did on the stream, if you watch my stream on this one when I was still getting used to the test, what you would have noticed is that I probably ended up double check. I tried to understand. I ended up having to understand the table through the answer choices, and what that does is it makes me kind of frenetic. It makes me a little bit chaotic here. And I'm like, wait, what the hell's going on, right? Like, and that is not like 1800 versus 2012. You know, if you feel like you're understanding the table while you're doing process elimination, you are probably doing it way too late. Okay, this is not such an impossible table to understand up front. All right, so that's just like how I would approach and talk about this all the time. But you predict the answers. You predict the answers first, and then you match your answers afterwards. If you give me an example of a question that takes a huge amount of time, then let me know. I could talk about how this works on that question. Let's see. Oh, I actually forgot to say one other thing about this question. The big difference is that a lot of kids, I forgot to actually mention, the whole reason why kids end up spending like 2 minutes on this question, right? This is like kids waste a lot of time. A lot of you wasted like a lot of time on this question, is because you don't even know that the passage is asking about agriculture and services. Because you're not making a prediction. You're just going here, you're plugging it in, and then you're reading backwards, and you're just like looking at the numbers for it, right? And when you do it that way, I guarantee you're also looking at the manufacturing column. And when you look at the manufacturing column, you're just confusing yourself. And you're wasting so much time. And you're not even getting close to the answer. Okay, so that's a huge problem there. Let's see. Looks like chat's pretty dead, so I'm gonna chill for a bit, but I'm pretty low energy, so if there's not a lot of people here asking, I might just sort of bounce. Let's see. Yeah. Man. You guys, by the way, the most important thing is to not be panicking. Is the most. I'm going to just remind you I'm gonna share the same reminder I'm always telling everyone. On the last day before the test, it doesn't matter how perfect the strategy is, it doesn't matter how important the word is, it doesn't matter how important the rule is. Memorizing a new strategy, memorizing new words, memorizing new rules, this stuff, okay? It just it's not the point. Like, whatever you're learning now is only going to increase anxiety because you're going to feel the pressure to actually use the thing that you learn now. And yeah, I know everyone remembers that feeling of cramming some knowledge in at the very last moment and it actually comes out on the test. And you think that's the big reward, right? And that little crumb of a reward keeps you cramming last minute all the time, but the when you really observe the way you take the test, having a clearly defined approach and just committing to that approach is going to pay off so much more. So if I say anything during this stream that doesn't really match with your approach and it's not comfortable for you to do, I don't want you to implement it tomorrow. Don't do anything new. Don't do anything drastically different. Do what you're used to. All right. I do have to mute myself for a bit because now I'm getting a student who's going to let me know how he did. I'm muting myself now. Yo, what's up? Okay. I'm getting another message, so I'll just follow up. Okay, congrats to everyone in Korea time, Korea Japan time, on completing the SAT. Okay, let me just quickly. Okay, I'm hearing one good reaction and one bad reaction. So that. All right, another call. All right, so I'm just gonna catch up with some of my students who are finishing. Okay, so more students who are kind of a neutral reaction there. Neutral reaction. I'm getting more text, so I'm just gonna keep replying to these texts, guys. But I'm having a negative reaction, a positive reaction, and a neutral reaction. Um, okay. So I'm getting the sense that like what you saw for like December or for December, what you saw for the Blue Book practice test 5 and 6 are probably the direction to go in. Um, it's hard to know for sure just because I'm just basing my feelings off of the reporting of other students, but I think yeah I think if you just kind of rely on your performance on Blue Books 5 and 6, and just again implement the plan that you had, right? Don't like suddenly change the plan just because you're panicking or just because things feel hard. Just commit to the plan. As long as you do that, I think you should be fine. Some of my students who usually don't worry too much about time management failed with time management. I should probably keep checking my replies. Um, I might just have to call because they're not replying. Um, some of them were kind of struggling with time management, and again, this happens because like if you treat it like another practice test and you just like don't change anything about the way you take the test, it's fine. But it's not easy to do because that pressure's on you, and when you see a hard question, you're much more likely to panic. But you got to keep calm, believe in yourself, believe in all the practice that you've done in the last month or two or three, and just commit to that plan that you already have. There's a good reason for that, for the way that you ended up taking the test, right? So I actually want to check on a couple of students. So I'm gonna make some more phone calls here. Yeah, let's go. All right, and sorry, I have to mute myself right now. Here we go. Okay, give me a sec. I'm just sending more messages now. Okay, I have a student who seems to be more or less confident on all of Module 2, like every single question. So that's good. That's what I want to hear. Uh, just, she says she did everything the way that she usually does on the practice test, did not get nervous, which is good. All right, I'm gonna see if I can do another phone call. Hey, Aaron. Hey, All right. Hey, so thanks. Sorry for making everyone wait. I'm getting a bunch of replies, but oh man. I think I'm having this is a good day. This is a good day for me. I think I had one negative response and now three positive responses. Three, what? Two positive, one neutral. So, oh man, one more phone call. And wait, has to. But hey, while chat. You guys should feel free to just keep chatting about or chatting with each other first of all, because I'm currently not able to entertain. But one sec. Okay. Mostly positive. That's good. So right now only one negative, one neutral, and now three or four positives. A bit late to the part. Yeah, these are calls from students that I coached, and some of them are students from my group classes. I didn't directly one-on-one coach them, but they just, they just got close to me, so they're calling or they're messaging me. Um, yeah, so isn't there one student I didn't reply to? Oh yeah, there is. Okay, above question. What's the above question? Oh, that was a question. Uh, Student notes, vocab, transition. I mean, yeah, sequence is not that big of the deal at the end of the day. You can sequence questions however you want. Now, I think I've talked about this multiple times in various places, but I personally prefer solving 1 through 27 and then using leftover time to go back over the hard questions. Um, So the reason I like doing it that way is because it gives me a break. Like, because the grammar section and the writing section feels easier, so I can kind of like rest my brain a little bit, and then I go back to the hard questions, and then I and with a little bit of break, with a little bit of distance, I can see the hard questions with fresh eyes. So that's why I prefer going 1 through 27. I even think the College Board might have designed it that way on purpose. But do what do whatever makes you feel comfortable, because the comfortable is really important, because you're liable to panic tomorrow. So if you add too many new elements, too many unfamiliar strategies tomorrow, you are going to panic and you're going to start doing crazy things. So you got to stop adding complexity. Make it simple, make it repeatable, make it adaptable, and just fucking do it. All right, so. Oh, okay, wait, hang on. Actually, I could just reply. Okay, so going back to YouTube chat, any tips for long social science inference questions that come up in Module 2? Oof. Identify transitions. I have a bunch of skills that I could talk about, but that takes like so much practice. So the most easy to understand skill is identify transitions. Identify transitions. When you're reading, don't just read for words. Don't literally just only read for just like a lot of people read without any purpose whatsoever. You should read they're just kind of like skimming their eyes over a bunch of words and they're just trying to remember what the words are, which is like this ridiculous like GPT way of reading. Like you should be actually identifying transitions between the different sentences and the different clauses to figure out what the relationships are. And when you read a passage, even if you don't know what everything is saying, right? You should still be able to at least tell, oh, this is what previous research was saying, but now here's a new hypothesis, and then there's this mechanism, and within this mechanism, there's this one variable and a second variable. Oh, and then this is the result, right? Like you should be able to say that even if you don't know exactly what all the little technical words are referring to. And so as long as you can, when you're reading every sentence, as long as you can identify the transitions and the relationships before and after that sentence, then by the time you're finished reading that passage, you're going to have a much better understanding of what kind of inferences are valid or invalid. Okay, so my simple tip for somebody who's not going to have hours and hours and hours of practice available is just when you're reading the passage, identify transitions. I am Lucas. I am mostly getting the sense that 5 and 6 are comparable. Like none of my students told me it's like way harder or anything. They said it's pretty similar. Even the negative students weren't saying it's like way harder or anything. Um, the negative reaction student was more about his own performance and time management and stuff. All right. No, it's not. So suhurit. No, it's not just for inference questions. It's something I do for all reading. You know what the shocking thing is? I even do it on the student notes. When I'm reading the student notes, it's something like 10-15% of my brain is always looking for transitions when I'm reading. Like, no matter what. It doesn't even matter if it's a test or not. I'm just doing it. Now, when it's a test, I'm doing it more intentionally. But even when it's not a test, if I'm just reading a novel or something, I'm just looking for transitions. The reason why the reason why kids can read like an entire page and not understand anything, it's like, what the heck did I just read? It's because they're not reading with purpose, and the most basic thing to do is to take a large chunk of text and break it into parts that relate to each other. Oh, I think this is the opposing argument that the author disagrees with, and this is the opposing reasons for the opposing argument. But then here we transition into the author's argument, and then the author presents two different reasons why his argument is correct. Now, if you've done debate, this will be totally natural for you. But if you've never done debate, maybe this is something you've just never done. Like, you just don't break passages into parts. You don't transition them. You don't identify the transitions. This is super basic, and you do it for every kind of reading. All right. So I don't do it just for the inference questions. I do it for every question. But it does help a lot in inference questions, because inference questions, the answer choices will usually make you want to like make stuff up. But if you have little signposts on every transition, like you know where the transitions are, then it's very easy to come back to the passage and be like, no, that idea is definitely not going to be connected to the passage. The fact that you identify the transitions up front will make it a lot easier to eliminate loopy answers. Okay. Do I writing? No, I do not. I do not recommend writing down the ideas, especially not in full words and phrases. I do recommend symbolizing, using symbols to represent your thought process when necessary. But this is more something that you do for hard questions. I actually like, and I'm telling you what I recommend to my students, because my students are students that are with me for like a month or more, so they have the time to train a certain habits with me, right? So just to answer your question point blank, no, I don't recommend it, except to use logical symbols. To use symbols for logical relationships to figure out what the hell's going on. But if you've been doing it, and that's how you've been practicing it for the last 3 months, and you're used to it, then I strongly recommend sticking with the plan, okay? Don't suddenly change the plan just because of what some streamer said the day before when you haven't even practiced this new idea, okay? Just go with the plan, all right? Stick to the plan. Somebody mentioned earlier, I think it might have been Amuse. I wonder if I could, for the SAT, I wonder if it just shows up. Oh, it does. Bad lighting here, but terrible shot of me. But I do, if you want, oh wow, it only has 322 views. Maybe this is why I forgot about it. Guys, maybe you guys just need to read this. I will say, guys, on inference, Suhurit, the international students are telling, or I wasn't the one asking about the math, but apparently the math was harder. Okay, students are only talking to me about reading, writing, so I don't know about the math personally, but apparently the math was harder. But the way I'm choosing to interpret that, okay, what I heard was the students are saying, quote unquote, here's the quote, the students are saying the English went well, but they struggled on math. And the way I'm interpreting that is Saul, you taught them very well. So that's my interpretation. I do not. So, because I believe I'm gonna believe that if it's if this test is on the same level as Blue Book 5 and 6, then I think there's gonna be other kids who are panicking a lot on Reddit. Patty, you finished watching my old going through? Wait, there's like a word for this, right? Walkthrough, right? And it helped you a lot. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for sharing. Now today I'm not feeling.
Tom?
Oh wait, what? My bad. Just ignore it. So here's my 2 cents. I have 3 C's that I'd like you guys to keep in mind. The first C is confidence. Wow, I was so tired when I did this stream. Holy crap. Oh my god, I was so tired. The most important resource you have now, leading up in the last day to test, is your confidence. And your confidence is made up not of all the external pressures. It's made up not of all the sort of reasons why you have to get a really score. It's not made up of all your weaknesses. Your confidence is made up of all of your strengths, all of the positive changes you've seen, all of the evidence of growth you've seen, all of the breakthroughs you've had over the last couple months or even the last couple years on your journey up to this point. Your confidence is every single time that you've had a little victory and come to a great understanding of something in the time leading up to now. Your confidence is made up of all the positives that have been happening to you in your life, happening to the world, thanks to you, and also just happening inside of you. So the way to build your confidence is to keep your focus on positives. And a couple questions that you can ask yourself, just to reflect and to think about the positives. I'll just share my quick 5 questions, okay? The first question is, leading up to today, what have I learned that really worked for me? The second is, if I could choose only one thing I learned to remember for the test, what would it be? Number 3 is, what are some positive characteristics I have that might help me during this test? Number 4 is, in the past when I've had a challenge, what did I do that really helped? And number 5, what is one short sentence I could use to encourage myself during this test? You can take these questions, as they are, and if you can find anything positive in your recent past or even your distant past. This is still a good video. You know what? I'm looking at this. This is still a good video, kids. Go watch this video later on because I'm gonna peace out soon. I've probably been streaming close to 6 hours now in the last 12 hours. So I didn't sleep very much. So I'll answer some questions, but I'm gonna be gone. You know what? I should order food right now. Here, let me order food, and then when the food arrives, I'm gonna peace, dude. Grammar? For grammar, kids obsessed with punctuation, but the way to solve all your punctuation worries is to focus on identifying independent clauses first. Okay, identify the independent clause first. Like, try to understand what the sentence is actually saying. What's the subject? What's the verb? How does it connect? What does it mean? Get the independent clause first, and then start adding the commas back in, the modifiers back in, the little subordinate clauses, the dependent clauses, the relative clause, whatever, right? Add all that stuff back in after figuring out the independent clause first, okay? Sometimes you'll see 2 independent clauses, okay? Then separate them with a correct punctuation. Sometimes you'll see something that kind of just looks like an independent clause, but it's actually not an independent clause, right? Then you don't need to punctuate like an independent clause, But start with the independent clauses first, and then build everything back up after that, and you'll have a much more confident understanding of where the punctuation goes. What should I eat? What should I eat? I'm so happy. So tonight I'm gonna go to a party at my friend's house. Bro, what do I want? Dude, I just want Burger King. It's like wild. I have had such a ridiculously busy 3 months. Dude, I'm so ready for this Burger King. Look at it. It's glorious. It's raining outside. Where are my cats? 오구고래. 오구고래. Okay, they're not here. Guys, feel free to keep. I mean, I'm gonna kind of dick around, but you guys can. If you guys keep chatting with each other and with me, if you guys keep chatting, chat, I'll see your message at some point and I'll reply. 오구고래. They're looking at me, but they're not coming in. Okay. What to order? Do I want coffee or do I want to sleep after this? I'm like overwhelmed. uh, Dude, why do I want Burger King so much? Devon, I'll come back to you. Guys, I encourage you to keep chatting. I encourage you to keep chatting because I might have to go soon. 어구. Dude. Oh, October SAT. Let me get back to that in a second. My brain is actually legit shutting off. Oh, but I see we don't have a lot of viewers now anymore. I mean, I guess that's responsible. If you're in New York, that's like it's 10:45 already. If you're in Chicago, it's 9:45 already. So you guys should be going to sleep. No one from West Coast here? There's no one from the West Coast here? I don't think I've seen a single West Coast person shout out their location. Anyone in the West Coast? Meanwhile, do I want to eat 2 burgers and fries? Oh, dude, you got your... Oh, that sucks. That's you? Yeah. Sorry to hear about that. Is 2 burgers too much? Decisions. Dude, I'm like salivating. I have a problem, bro. Garlic bulgogi. Do I want to try that? That sounds kind of scary. You know what? I'm gonna try. I don't usually eat this stuff because I find it kind of weird, but I'm gonna try the Whopper that has shrimp in it. As an American, this kind of offends me. You probably could. Can you tell? Oh yeah, there we go. Shrimp. There's like a layer of shrimp on top of the beef. I'm probably not gonna like it, but I'll try it. Jeez. Damn, I'm handsome. Hell yeah, thank you. What the? That came out of nowhere. Okay, here we go. Ordering Burger King. Let's see. What are we talking about right now? So, studying for the October SAT, I feel like all the August kids are basically piecing out now. And hey, good luck on the test tomorrow. If you just want to hear some encouragement, guys. Everything that you've learned in the last couple weeks, the last couple months, okay, or even the last couple days, even, all right? The time is now to just crystallize it and to remind yourself that it's part of you now. And those practice tests that you've been taking, they're not in vain. That they were a good way to measure your progress and to challenge yourself to strive for more. All you need to do tomorrow is just do the same thing that you've been doing, okay? Activate that knowledge that you've accrued in the last couple months or weeks or days. Activate that knowledge and just execute it exactly the same way that you've been doing on your practice tests, and you will do just as well as you've done, or perhaps better, as long as you stay calm and you just keep on moving on, okay? So it's within you. I believe in you. You guys got this. If you are studying for the October SAT like Devon, I will just add, this changes your priority, but this changes priorities quite a bit. But I would add, try to think about some of the weaknesses in your general approach to the test. I mean, this is really hard. This is me speaking more as a tutor who's technical. So you know what? Overall, the main thing is to have let me just simplify what I'm saying. The main thing is to have regular check-ins so you can measure your progress, okay? So you want to pre-plan the practice tests, and ideally you could solve them Saturday morning, actually. So if you're solving them Saturday morning, then you can kind of get your mind you can get your brain and your body to get used to that rhythm. And then as you're doing that, make sure to just bulk up on the basic vocabulary and grammar that you're getting exposed to on those practice tests, as well as doing additional practice materials that you find, okay? But as long as you stay consistent and stick with the plan, you'll definitely see improvements. And this doesn't even require you to pay money to anyone. You could just do it by doing that. Now, obviously, if you feel like there's something really messed up with your habits, I mean, there's only so much you can do by trying to analyze yourself. It's really hard to analyze your own weaknesses if you don't know what the right habits are. So at that point, you could consider looking for a tutor, but I don't generally recommend finding a tutor, a one-on-one tutor, unless you've already started plateauing. So before you do a one-on-one tutor, I would generally recommend a group class where you learn, especially if you can get a group class with a teacher who demonstrates how to solve it, rather than just talks, explains why. There's teachers who will just explain why an answer is right and why an answer is wrong, instead of showing you how to solve it, okay? And that's very different. Even though it might seem like the same thing, at the end of the day, it's actually not. The way that when a teacher shows you how they're solving it, then you can kind of imagine it in terms of steps and actions. Whereas when a teacher just explains why an answer is right or wrong, then you're just thinking of reasons and evidence, right? One, the person who's showing you how to do it is incentivizing you to act in a certain way, whereas the person who's just explaining the answers is focusing on just how to think a certain way. And obviously you need both, but you guys really underestimate how powerful it is to just copy some set of steps, okay? So before you go in, I would actually not generally recommend one-on-one tutoring unless you have certain maybe communication or social issues or psychological issues that makes it really hard for you to handle a group class. Unless you're in a sort of like an outlier situation with some issue that you have, I recommend group classes first. Learn the rhythm, learn how to just get the practice out of the way, learn how to approach every question type, and then once you plateau, then you could consider doing one-on-one tutoring because with somebody who can analyze your habits for you. If you only have 2 practice tests left, I mean, you'd have to use other practice test resources, but I'm actually not sure of what other practice test resources are good. For me, I got through the entire summer because I was using proprietary material that is offered by my academy, and they're pretty good. They're pretty good. I think it could be better. I think there's areas for improvement. So I may consider some option for figuring out how to make their proprietary material available, but I don't know. That's a whole set of steps that I can't that requires negotiations and discussions. So I can't promise anything right now with regard to that. So I can only just say, go on Reddit and people talk about it. Most people mention, I think, Erica Meltzer for grammar and Black Book or Panda for math and reading and stuff like that. But I'm not actually too sure. I have to go into those materials myself as well and review them. I'd have to go through those materials before I can share my opinions on them. So yeah. Anybody else? What are the resources that you have been using? Chat. What resources have been personally the most helpful for you as you were studying for the August SAT? If you could share, I'd be very thankful. And I'm gonna guess no one here has taken the test. All the kids who have taken the test, they just drop in, say they finished the test, and they drop out. But if anyone here has taken the test, now we're getting close to the time where kids in Singapore kids should be finishing up around this time too, right? When was the first phone call? Yeah. There should be kids in Singapore that are finishing their tests right now. Singapore time zone. And that's probably also Beijing and China. And what countries are in UTC 8 right now? So, yeah, Malaysia, Singapore, China, Hong Kong, Taiwan. So basically, much of the Chinese-speaking world should be finished with the SAT or finishing with the SAT right about now. Which means we should probably, let's look at what's happening over here. Yeah. Let's go to newest. Also, Devon, you have 2 practice tests left, but you're trying to do the October SAT. I think there's about 6 weeks until the October SAT, so I recommend recommending the last 2 practice tests for the last 2 weeks. Alternatively, I guess you could use one 3 weeks in, so maybe have a midterm and a final, if that makes sense. So 3 weeks you could use one of the practice tests, and 6 weeks you can use another practice test. The reason for doing that instead of saving for the last 2 is because some of the materials out there I wouldn't trust to be a very accurate representation of the Blue Book. So it might be helpful to just have a practice test halfway through. Also, guys, you might be surprised that unless you did a very intensive review, unless you did an extremely intensive review, and most kids who don't have tutoring, they don't do very intensive review, you will be shocked at how fast you forget practice tests 1, 2, 3, and 4. Even if you solved it only 2 or 3 months ago, you'll be shocked. You can completely forget every single question. So go back. Unless you reviewed it very thoroughly. If you reviewed it very thoroughly, then you might still remember 2 or 3 months ago. but yeah, I would suggest trying to solve Blue Book 1 again. If it's been like 4 months or more, try solving Blue Book 1 again. You might be surprised that you don't remember any of it. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's just the reality of practice tests, that they're always going to be a little bit inconsistent because they're not made very rigorously. So, yeah, it's just it's one of the limitations. Yeah, the Korean consensus is that the English wasn't particularly hard. Wow, now that I ordered this Burger King, I'm like dying. I'm so hungry. Okay, this is not very useful. Let me go back and see. Piney, you're about to do the exam in 2 hours, so it's like 6 a.m. where you are? Okay. Wait, UTC plus 3. Was that like Bulgaria? Turkey? Ah, Turkey. Saudi Arabia. Okay. Are you UTC plus 4? Oh, no, it's right here. Oh, dude. Oh, right. Arabia Standard Time. Hey, how many kids are you guys? How many of you kids? I can't speak. How many of you kids are in like in the Arabic Peninsula? Can't speak. Arabic, Arabic Peninsula. Are there more of you out there? Because this is really early for you. Kind of learning. One thing that YouTube is teaching me is more geography. Wait, is my food here? It's here. Give me a sec. All right, Look at how wet my bag is. Okay, it's kind of annoying. Hey, but guys, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go now. So just gonna say good luck to everyone. Scholarships, you know, you have to look at the specific schools and their policies. So there's no easy answer for that. But some schools will give you scholarships. Yeah. Good luck, everyone, on the SAT, and trust in the process, trust in the work, believe in yourself, trust in the work that you put into yourself, and just commit to doing it in the way that you've been training. Okay, if you just commit to the way that you've been training, then you won't panic, and you'll do just fine. Good luck, guys. See you next time. Peace.